Good evening, and welcome back to News Around, the channel where we explore the quiet spaces between the headlines. We are accustomed to measuring the magnitude of a star by the noise they create, the applause, the interviews, the flashbulbs, and the trending topics. But occasionally, we encounter a figure whose silence is far louder than any shout. We encounter an artist who builds a world not to show it off, but to hide within it. Today, we are turning our lens toward one of the most enigmatic and talented figures in the Turkish entertainment industry, Çağatay Ulusoy. Currently, he is dominating the ratings with his mature, gritty performance in Ezref Rüya, a series that has redefined his career trajectory. But while the critics are praising his lines and his gaze, the internet is obsessing over something far more tangible and surprisingly personal. It is not a scandal. It is not a new romance. It is a vehicle. Specifically, a caravan that looks less like a celebrity dressing room and more like a fisherman's soul manifested in wood and steel. Why has a simple set trailer caused a sensation on social media? Why are fans comparing him to Aquaman? And most importantly, is this nautical sanctuary a simple hobby, or is it a profound manifesto about the crushing weight of fame and the desperate human need for freedom? Tonight, we dim the lights and step inside the wooden, blue-hued world of Çağatay Ulusoy to understand the man who dreams of the sea while standing on dry land. Before we start the engine, I have a request for you. If you appreciate journalism that looks for the story behind the story, please hit that subscribe button. And for those who want to dive deeper into these waters with us, the join button is your anchor. Your support allows us to keep sailing against the current of clickbait. Now, let's explore the mystery of the caravan. To understand the sanctuary, we must first understand the storm outside it. Çağatay Ulusoy is currently navigating a peak in his career that few actors ever reach. The series Ezref Rüya has opened a completely different chapter for him. From the moment the first episode aired, it was clear that this was not just another project. The ratings are soaring, and social media interactions are breaking records weekly. But it is the nature of the work that is significant. Viewers and critics alike have hailed his performance as the most mature work of his career. He has shed the skin of the attractive leading man that defined his early years and has stepped fully into a role of immense dramatic depth and weight. He is carrying the emotional burden of a complex character, filming intense schedules, enduring back-to-back scenes, and navigating the exhaustion of a production that demands perfection. Success, as we know, is a double-edged sword. It brings acclaim, yes, but it also brings a suffocating lack of time. The pressure is immense. The noise is constant. And it is within this pressure cooker of Ezref Rüya that the details of his private escape, his caravan, become not just interesting, but essential to his survival. Before we look at the photos that broke the internet, we must look at the man's philosophy. Çağatay Ulusoy has always been an anomaly in the Turkish star system. In an era where visibility is the currency of fame, he chooses to be famously invisible. He does not feed the beast. He avoids the paparazzi hotspots, he rations his interviews like precious water, and he keeps his private life hermetically sealed. This creates a paradox. Because he shares so little, the things he does share or the things that leak are analyzed with forensic intensity. And that brings us to the images that have surfaced on Platform X, images that have sparked a conversation about mental health, freedom, and the art of living. The photos shared by the fan account at Cagatay Fan Club did not just receive likes, they triggered a debate. When we think of a celebrity caravan, we typically imagine marble countertops, gold fixtures, massive flat-screen TVs, and the sterile luxury of a five-star hotel suite on wheels. We expect excess. What Çağatay Ulusoy revealed was the exact opposite. It was a shock to the system of celebrity culture. The images showed a space defined by a rustic, almost primal simplicity. The ceiling was not lined with LED strips but with warm, textured wood. The color palette was a specific, soothing blend of blue and white, the eternal colors of the Aegean. The closet doors featured nautical details, and perhaps most strikingly, there were fishing nets hanging from the ceiling. It did not look like a place to prepare for a scene in a TV show. It looked like the cabin of a fishing trawler. It looked like a small boat that had somehow been stranded on a film set. The aesthetic was so specific, so detailed, that it forced the audience to look past the furniture and see the man. We are looking at a man who built a boat on land because he missed the water so much. It begs the question, what is your caravan? Where do you go mentally when the world gets too loud? Do you have a sanctuary? Pause the video and tell us about your safe space in the comments. We love reading about how you find your peace. And please, if you are enjoying this deep dive, make sure to like the video. It helps us reach other souls who are looking for quiet content in a loud world. If you want to support our mission, the join button is waiting for you. Now, let's analyze the psychology behind the fishing nets. The internet's reaction was immediate and divided. Some users asked, is this an escape? Others theorized, is this a conscious manifesto about life? The comments were insightful. The man turned his caravan into a boat because of his longing for the sea. This isn't a caravan, it's a state of mind. But to understand the decor, we must understand the passion. Çağatay Ulusoy's love for fishing is not a new affectation, it is a core component of his identity. For years, he has been known to disappear into nature between projects. But the caravan suggests that this is no longer just a hobby he does on weekends, it is a lifeline he needs daily. Sources close to the production whisper that Ulusoy mentally reconnects through this simulated connection to the sea. One insider notably said, on set, he talks a lot, thinks a lot, is very controlling. But at sea, he calms down. The sea represents the opposite of the film set. The set is controlled, scripted, artificial, and loud. The sea is chaotic, unscripted, natural, and silent. By bringing the aesthetic of the sea into his caravan, Cagatay is essentially trying to bring the silence of the ocean into the chaos of his workplace. It is a brilliant psychological hack. When he steps into that trailer, he is no longer the star of Esref Rüya, he is just a fisherman waiting for a bite. As one social media user astutely commented, this caravan is like a therapy room. It is a space designed to strip away the persona and leave only the person. Of course, the internet loves a superhero comparison. One of the most viral sentiments was the comparison to Aquaman. Given Cagatay's current look, the longer hair, the beard, the rugged physicality, combined with his evident obsession with the ocean, the parallel was inevitable. This is literally the spirit of Aquaman, users joked. But behind the memes, there is a fascinating whisper circulating in the backrooms of the industry. Could this obsession be preparation? There is a rumor, faint but persistent, that Ulusoy might be eyeing an international marine-themed project in the future. Is he method acting for a role we don't know about yet? Or is he simply living his truth? Considering his history of physical transformations and bold role choices, the idea isn't entirely far-fetched. But for now, it remains just a rumor floating in the wake of his caravan. So, we return to the central question, is this caravan an escape route, or is it a manifesto? According to those who truly know him, it is neither. It is a control room. Think about his life. On set, he is told where to stand, what to say, what to wear, and how to feel. In the media, his words are twisted, his relationships analyzed, and his privacy invaded. He controls very little of the external world. But in that small, wooden box, he is the captain. He controls the light. He controls the sound. He controls the silence. He doesn't have to answer to a director or a journalist. It is a sovereign state of one. The caravan is his way of saying, I have to be visible to do my job, but I choose to remain invisible to keep my soul. It is the clearest way to be famous and invisible at the same time. He is physically present on the lot, but mentally, he is miles offshore, drifting on a calm sea. This entire story is remarkable because of what didn't happen. Cagatay Ulusoy didn't give an interview about his mental health. He didn't write a long Instagram caption explaining his design choices. He didn't make a statement to the press. He stayed silent. But the caravan spoke for him. The wooden roof spoke of his need for nature. The fishing nets spoke of his need for patience. The blue walls spoke of his need for peace. It is a narrative constructed entirely without words, which makes it infinitely more powerful than any PR statement. It sends a message to the industry and to the fans, I am fine here. Let the noise stay outside. In a world that demands we constantly scream to be heard, Çağatay Ulusoy has shown us that sometimes, you just need to build a boat and close the door. His caravan is not an escape from reality, it is a construction of a better reality. It is a reminder that luxury isn't about gold taps or velvet sofas. Luxury is the ability to hear your own thoughts. As we watch Esref Rüya and admire the intensity of his performance, perhaps we will now look at his eyes and see a little bit of that blue reflection. We will know that between the cut and the action, he is retreating to his own private ocean. What do you think of Cagatay's sanctuary? Do you see it as a sign of loneliness or a sign of strength? Let's discuss it in the comments. We read every single perspective. And please, help us keep this channel sailing by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications. If you want to be part of our crew, click join today. Your support keeps us afloat. Until next time, find your own ocean, even if it's just in a quiet corner of your room. Goodbye.